Hey guys, today I come with great news for the second season of The World Within for Mythic Plus, dude. They did massive changes and this is so awesome for me because this proves me right with all the videos that I released before saying how the first season sucked dick. And of course the majority of people agreed with me because it is obvious, but there was a group of people that were saying everything is fine, the system is good, you just suck, get good or whatever. And I was getting the rewards, but the system sucked dick. So Blizzard agrees with me and they are bringing out a bunch of changes that are good. There is still one change that I would want to see push forward, and they aren't doing it, but I am not going to complain because everything else is still good. So let's get over it. Hey brother, over 60% of you are not subscribed to the channel. Why is that, dude? This is just a click. It is a button, it is quick, it is free. Just click the subscribe button, my dude. Don't be like that. You get content, I get a sub. It is a win-win situation. Just click the button, dude. They say here is a summary. Let's get to the summary. It is quicker, it is easier. Gilded Crest available from plus 7, before it was from plus 8. This is a good change. And what they are doing now, we will see below, is that when you go up in keys, you get more Gilded Crest, right? So you start getting them at plus 7, but at plus 8, you get more of them. At plus 9, you get more of them. And that way forward. Then, Hero Track available from plus 6. This is also awesome. Mythic Zero drops Champion Gear. Tyrannical and 45 move to level 7 and level 10, and Challenger's Peril remove! Completely gone. Nobody liked that shit. Guile plus 12 includes the effect of Challenger's Peril instead of additional stats. I am fine that it is in plus 12 because that is for people that really want to push. They are fine with this type of cons in your mythic keys, right? At 12 plus keys cannot deplete past level, past that level once you time every dungeon at that difficulty. This is the one change that I would like improve. This is a good change, don't get me wrong, this is not bad. On the contrary, this is so good that I want to see this in every fucking key. Not only 12 plus. Give me this from the start, or at least from plus 5, plus 6, I don't know. Because yes, the early keys are like too easy, but there has to be a point when you start giving me this, right? And plus 12 is like people that are already there. They already have everything. They are not that worried about the depletion. Yes, they want to push, and for pushing the depletion is a pain in the ass because you have to do it again. I understand that and it is good. But give it to me too, that I want to do a plus 7, a plus 8, a plus 10. I also want this. And the 2850 mount has been moved to the 3K. I am fine with that. That is cool because they are adjusting everything. We are going to see more of this here in the post below, but like this is the too long didn't read, and this goes in line with what I said previously. So basically I was right. What I am here to say is that I was right. I said to you guys, the difficulty, I am not against difficulty. I like difficulty. The problem is that the difficulty of the dungeons is not matching the reward system, and you hit a hard wall and you don't access the rewards because of this. And the community, because of the punishing aspect of Mythic Plus, the perception makes it more gatekeeping. It is not the fault of the people that list the keys and denying people. It is the fault of Blizzard that are creating the environment for this to happen, and they are addressing this in here. I told you guys, it is a pain in the ass that you have to do a plus 10 to a mid track. That is still the case, but we will see something that improves that. The hero gear, the Gilded Crest, all of that was out of whack, and they are aligning it because it was obvious. And if you didn't see it, I don't know what to tell you, brother. I don't know what to tell you because this was pretty obvious. Now, something that I didn't like is that they waited to season 2 to do this. I told you guys they can do these fixes right now, and you can tell me that they couldn't have improved the Gilded Crest in plus 7s during the season because they improved it to plus 8, I believe, because before it was in plus 9s. So they could have taken them down to plus 7. Hero Track available from plus 6, they could have done this. Mythic Zero drops Champion Gear, they could have done this. Tyrannical and 45 move to level 7 and 10, they could have done this. So why wait the whole season to do these changes? A lot of people, including myself, just stopped playing because it wasn't fun, dude. It wasn't fun. And in Dragonflight, it was fun. Even Season 4 that had the key crunch, the same as the World Within, it was fun getting your gear and your rewards. Season 3 was goated. And I am hoping that with these changes, we get back to that flow that Season 3 in Dragonflight had, which is the flow that, yes, it is difficult to progress. It is a nice challenge, but you can do it, and you progressively get stronger and can climb, and get stronger and can climb. And there is a nice flow to the difficulty, to the challenge with the rewards, and you overcome it, and you go forward, and it feels good. Season 3 was like that. Season 4 was like that. Season 1 in the World Within wasn't like that. But with these changes, I am hoping that Season 2 is going to be like that. And I am excited now to try Season 2. And before, I wasn't. But these changes just hype me up and I want to play now. So let's take a look at what Blizzard said. We're rolling out some changes to Mythic Plus with the release of the Season 2 and wanted to share a few more insights on what you can expect to see. Season 2 Mythic Plus updates. Over the course of the World Within Season 1, the development team has received extensive feedback on Mythic Dungeons. Yes, I wasn't the only one, of course, and probably they didn't even see my videos. But there was some big names in the community saying basically the same things, right? Much of which revolved around frustrations, especially in trying to progress through the system, primarily in pickup groups. Exactly. So they knew, brother, they know. It was common sense. Common areas of criticism have included the sense that players were faced with too many mechanics at once. This is true. That failure was too punishing. Of course, that rewards felt insufficient for the challenge, what I said earlier, and effort required, and that it could be hard for many players to find groups as the community gravitated towards meta specs to help cope with these difficulties. They are recognizing that they are creating the environment. The player is always going to choose the path of least resistance. If you punish me too hard, I am going to avoid as much as I can said punishment. So if there are 5 specs or 8 specs that make the probability of success higher, I am going to choose those specs. And if your spec sucks and it is not in those 8 specs, I am not going to choose it. Am I an asshole for doing it? No, the game is forcing me to do it. And that is what was happening, dude. We have already approached our Season 2 dungeon rollout on the PTR and ongoing tuning with an eye towards addressing mechanical issues. Cast times on critical enemies spells have been significantly increased. This is to help people interrupt better. Tank damage spikes reducing magnitude and or given better telegraphs. A lot of people were saying that one of the biggest problems in Mythic Plus was in Season 1 was that tanks were not tanky, and that caused a lot of wipes. The overall number of threats in an average pack of enemies has been reduced and more. So basically what this means, too long didn't read this, dungeons will be easier, or the difficulty curve is going to be smoother. That is what this means, basically. We also have made improvements to rewards, and especially reducing the penalty of failing to finish a dungeon within the timer in the Siren Isle content update, but we understood that there was still more to do in order to fully address the feedback we've been hearing. Exactly. Now, as we approach our second season, we have a chance to make some broader changes to the structure of Mythic dungeon progression. Exactly, I agree. A factor that we see as an underlying cause of many of the cited issues is the lack of a smooth and healthy difficulty reward progression in the current system. My dude, this is what I was telling you. I was right the whole fucking time, dude. That is how you know things are, dude. They are saying exactly what I said was the problem, bro. And rewards are an essential part of that picture. Exactly, bro. We play games, we are reward driven. We want like the dopamine of getting to accomplish something. And if you get like a challenge, a reward, a challenge, a reward, a challenge, a reward, you have that give and take of having to work for the reward, but being able to get the reward. The game should present a challenge, but that challenge you should be able to overcome it. The first season was insane. Like, you have to be a challenge, you have to be, let's say, for example, a +10 to get certain reward. But in order to be able to beat the +10, you had to have the reward that the +10 itself gives. So you face a wall, basically. That's what was happening in Season 1. Yes, there was things to overcome it, but just because you can work hard or do certain stuff to overcome it, it doesn't mean that the system isn't flawed. And it was obviously flawed because they are admitting it. So that is it. The introduction of delves has significantly changed the ending reward ecosystem. Players who were accustomed to doing Mythic Plus in past expansions may have geared up in delves at the start of the World Within Season 1 and then looked at the Mythic Plus reward track and found few or no rewards worth their time below the Mythic 7 level or so. Exactly. This is also true. A lot of things that people said before was, you shouldn't apply to a plus 7 if you haven't timed all plus 6. That is stupid and it is a waste of time. If I have the knowledge and the gear to fight the plus 7, I should do it right away. And in previous seasons, it was like that. Like I could do, let's say in Dragonflight Season 3, I could do a jump right straight to a plus 15 and I only did a plus 12, for example, before. And people accepted you. It wasn't a big deal. But in the World Within Season 1, no, people were much more gatekeeping because of the punishment, right? Lots of players will enter the system at Mythic 7 since they didn't need more champion gear at Mythic 7. And exactly, why would you do something that doesn't give you any reward? It is a waste of time. Just so longer down the line, in the future, other people can take you into their group. You have to waste time now. That is not fun, dude. And in previous seasons, it wasn't like that. If that is the game, and maybe people are used to it, but I was not used to it because when I played in Shadowlands and when I played in Dragonflight, it wasn't like that. And Mythic 7 was the first level to drop hero track items from each run. However, often these players frankly lack the dungeon experience required to succeed at that level, dealing with a 77% bonus to enemy health and damage. And on top of that, the Challenger's Peril, the biggest deal in this is the Challenger's Peril because the timers was really tight and a wipe fucked up your key. And then you deplete your key. It is a pain, dude. Making deaths more costly was never designed to be an environment in which you learn mechanics for the first time, and yet many players ended up doing just that. This heavily impacted success rates, led to a sense of inconsistency from group to group, and made many players more wary and more selective in filling groups for their keys too. Meanwhile, keys in the 2-6 range had a shallow applicant pool, especially past the first weeks of the season. This meant that even players who tried to start at a lower difficulty level in order to build the experience to succeed at 7+ keys also often had a hard time finding and forming groups, experiencing many of the same frustrations. Brother, they are nailing it with these explanations. Looking ahead to Season 2, our aim is to make the Mythic Dungeon system more rewarding from the outset and to smooth out the difficulty progression so that each step feels approachable. Brother, not only then recognizing this already hypes me up. This makes me excited to play again, dude. To that end, we are making the following changes. Baseline Mythic, aka Mythic 0 dungeons, will now award champion track gear from each boss with a weekly instance lockout. Nice. The health and damage of enemies in those dungeons has increased to reflect the improved rewards. I am fine with that, while keeping Mythic 0 an accessible point of entry for players beginning their Season 2 gearing journey and those looking to learn dungeons in a lower stakes environment. Great. From Mythic 2 through Mythic 10, each new level will now increase the health and damage of enemies by 7%, down from the previous 10%. Per level scaling will remain at 10% from Mythic 11 onwards. You have to remember that this is a compounding effect. For example, in a +2, you had the 10%, right? But then in +3, you had 20%. But now, you have 7% and 14%. So this compounds, and the higher you go, before you get to the 10% from Mythic 11 onwards, you are getting lower and lower in comparison with what you had before, right? Which is pretty cool. For example, at a +10 previously, you have a 100%, but now you only have a 70%. So it compounds. It is really cool. The Salatats bargain rotating affixes will move up from Mythic 2 to Mythic 4, leaving no affixes other than the existence of a timer at the 2 entry levels of the Mythic Plus system. Awesome. The alternating cycle of Tyrannical and Fortify will move up from Mythic 4 to replace the Challenger's Peril affix at Mythic 7, with the other one continuing to take effect at Mythic 10. Awesome. So they are not only aligning the rewards, they are also basically lowering the difficulty so that it is better or it is faster or it is easier, I don't know, to progress through the track without giving it for free either. The alternatives at Mythic 12, instead of an additional 10% increase to enemy health, Salatat's Guile will now include the increased timer penalty for deaths as a replacement for the rotating bargain affixes. While the mechanic could feel overly punishing for groups still learning and progression towards the rewards, a focus on clean execution remains appropriate for the upper echelons of the system. I agree with this. The requirements to achieve some key reward tiers have been reduced. Hero Track gear is now available in end of run chests from Mythic 6 dungeons. Awesome. Gilded crests are available from Mythic 7 and up. I agree with all of this. So we can see here the table and what I was saying right now. 84%. So cool. Everything here is cool. Now you get the timer in Mythic Plus, but you don't get an affix until Mythic 4. And you don't get the fortified and tyrannical until Mythic 7. And starting at Mythic 6, you get Hero Track from End of Dungeon, and you get, since you get right into Mythic Plus, you start getting Hero Rewards in the Vault. And now at Mythic 10, you start getting Mythic Track in the Vault. In Season 1, I criticized this. I said that Mythic 10 was too high to start giving you Mythic Reward Track, because in Shadowlands, not in Shadowlands, in Dragonflight, you used to get them, I believe, at 17, which was basically a 7. So they should lower this at least to an 8. And they are keeping it at a 10. But you have to remember that they are adjusting the difficulty. So at 10 right now will be what? Like an 8 or a 7 before. So now it is in line. You understand? Yes, they left it at 10. But at 10 will feel like an 8 or a 7 used to feel like. So it is correctly placed. I am fine with this because they are shifting the difficulty curve to match the reward system, which is fine. Now, this is really important. You get 10 gilded at Mythic 7, which is awesome. And at Mythic 8, Mythic 9, Mythic 10, what I told you earlier, you start getting more gilded. So if you are doing 12 and more, you are getting 20 gilded. This is awesome. If you want one single upgrade, which is typically 15 gilded, doing Mythic 10s will get you an upgrade. This is awesome. You are guaranteed, you know, if I time a Mythic 10, I am going to get an upgrade. This is awesome. This is really cool. I like this. On balance, this version of the system should have more rewarding point of entry, a smoother progression, and overall lower difficulty that players experience in Season 1. This is awesome. You want difficulty to be there, you want challenge to be there, but you want to be able to overcome it in a smooth fashion, which was what happened in previous seasons, and in Season 1 was all skewed. One additional note and of relevance to players at the upper end of the system, we are changing the rating requirement for the new Keystone Legend achievement being added in Season 2, moving it from 2850 to 3k. This is like a second mount. Now in Mythic Plus, you can get 2 mounts. The lower one that you could always get, I believe it is at 2500. And now they are adding one more, but you get it at 3k. I am fine with this. This is awesome. You get more incentive before, because getting the first mount was getting like easy. And they said we have to give people an incentive to keep pushing. And they are introducing this one. That is awesome. This is being done to keep it at a comparable level of challenge and prestige after the changes to overall scaling. We will also be decoupling this achievement from the system that allows players to set a floor for the high-level keystones. Instead, once a player has finished all 8 seasonal dungeons at Mythic 12 within the timer, their keystone will no longer automatically de-level below 12. Once a player has timed all dungeons at Mythic 13, the new floor will be 13, and so on for all keys levels at about 12. I like this change. I like it so much that what I say is wrong in here is that this should be lower, not only from plus 12, but every key, or at least plus 7, at least plus 10, I don't know. Plus 12 is too high. This is only for the sweats. You have to allow the bigger community to access this system, dude. Nobody likes key depletion. Key depletion sucks. It is like unfair that only the highest players are given access to this. Yes, they need it the most to be able to keep pushing, but at the same time, everybody wants it, dude. But since we are getting a lot of what we wanted, they are proving that I was right. I feel vindicated. I am fine with this. I am cool with this. I like the new system. And I will be honest with you guys. I have been so addicted to Path of Exile 2 that I want to try Path of Exile 1. And I am full on Path of Exile 2 that I was thinking about skipping Season 2 for the World Within. This makes me say, nah bro, I won't skip it. I will get back to the season because this looks cool. These changes are so good that I was thinking about skipping the season and now I am not. Now I am saying I will play the season. I will play the season. I am thinking about what spec to play. You guys know that I am a survival hunter main, but I don't main it every season. It is like my favorite class and the one that I play the most, but I played it in season 1. I want to try another spec. I still don't know. But I am thinking about getting back. I am thinking, no, I will get back to Season 2 because I love these changes. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. Do you like the changes? Do you think it is getting too easy? What do you think about all of this? Are you hyped for the season? You are going to play it. You don't give a fuck about WoW. Let me know everything in the comments below. You know that I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff, my dude. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever because this is just a ride.